Hey everyone, Y24 here for a very special video. As you can see in the title, I went to Ubisoft Montreal last January. I was invited by Ubisoft, and because it was such a crazy and unique experience, I wanted to make a video about it, sort of tell you what I did there, why I was invited, who I met, and so on. So I'm really excited to finally be able to talk about my trip. It was quite a journey, and I'm really grateful to Ubisoft because visiting the studio and meeting the devs is a fan's dream that came true. So I really hope you'll enjoy the video, and without further ado, let's get into it. Let's start with a brief contextualization to sort of explain how and why I was invited. So it all started last December. Basically, we received an email from Ubisoft asking us if we wanted to take part in a new community program called the Mentors Guild. And as some of you may know, we collaborated with Ubisoft in the past on projects such as AC Initiates. So I was really happy that we got the chance to work with them again, and I was expecting this program to be a bit like Initiate, so basically I said yes. And after we accepted their request, the first thing they said was, okay, let's do a Skype call so we can introduce each other and talk about the program. And because they needed someone who could speak English for the program, I was chosen to be the representative of the channel. So we did the Skype call, and I met the new com devs. They explained to me what the program was about without revealing too much. And at some point during the call, one of the two devs said, "Alright, should we tell him now?" And I was like, "What?" And so they said, to celebrate your involvement in the program and to present it in full detail, we'd like to invite you to Montreal to visit the studio and meet the team. So I can tell you that I was really shocked, to be honest. I didn't know what to say. I mean, it's crazy, and as I said earlier, it's a fan's dream, and I didn't see that coming. So yep, that's how I was invited. So I was invited from January 24th to 28th, and of course I wasn't the only one invited. In fact, we were 10 community members invited by Ubisoft. So there was Doral, moderator on the AC Reddit, Sari from the Access the Animus team, Sinfully Riddling, a Twitch streamer, Six Keys from the Ubisoft forums, Master Simai from the AC Wiki, and a bunch of cosplayers, Cherry Flame, Culprit, Alex, and Sam. So now that I give you some context, let's talk about the trip itself. I left on the morning of the 24th. I was just super excited and nervous, and I couldn't realize that it was finally happening, but something quite unexpected happened. My first flight to Paris was delayed, and so I missed the flight to Montreal. So I had to stay in Paris the entire day and night and fly on the 25th, meaning that I was going to miss the first day in the studio. And that day I learned that during the first day in the studio, the other community members would have a presentation of the new AC game by Ashraf Ismail, the game director, and then 2 hours of a play session. So I was a bit bummed to miss that, but also kind of excited because at that moment I realized that I would get to know what the next AC game was. So I finally flew on the 25th and arrived in Montreal in the evening. Then I finally joined everyone in a restaurant, so I got to meet all those community members. That was really cool. Obviously we talked about AC, whether it's the games, the community, and so on. And at some point I asked them, what's the new AC game? Is it Empire? Did you enjoy what you played? But they wouldn't tell me. They were like, oh, we can't tell you, we'll keep it a surprise for you. But all we can say is that it's different. So I was really intrigued and of course even more excited. And that's pretty much what happened for me on the first day. So now let's talk about the second day, which was actually my first day. We arrived at the studio in the morning, and I was really nervous. When we arrived in the lobby, I saw the Ubisoft logo and I started to realize that it was getting real. I finally met the Ubisoft Montreal community developers. They gave me a security pass and gave me a short tour of the studio. And while they were showing me around, I tried to look at the employees' computer screens to see if I could get a short glimpse of the new AC game, but actually we weren't on the AC floor, so I had to wait a bit more. Then I joined the other community members in a meeting room, and that's basically where we spent most of our time doing workshops around Assassin's Creed. And the thing is, when I entered the room, the first person I saw was Andy, aka Escoblades. And some of you may already know, but Andy supported us over the years, gave us some really cool opportunities for the channel, and seeing him for real was really fun and kind of made the whole thing even more impressive and real, you know. So as I said, we spent most of our time doing workshops during which we discussed specific topics around Assassin's Creed. The first workshop was a presentation of the Mentors Guild program, but I can't tell you what it is for now. Then the second workshop was about the art of Assassin's Creed, and it was conducted by Raphael Lacoste, the art director on AC. You probably know him for his work on AC1, Revelations, Black Flag, and now Origins. So for more than an hour he talked about his own journey, like how he got in the industry, and then he showed us a bunch of concept art and explained how they build open worlds in AC and how they integrate art. So it was really interesting, and at the end he signed us really beautiful concept art from AC1, so it was really cool. During our break, I learned that there were like posters of us, the community members, displayed all around the studio so that the Ubisoft employees could know who we are and what we do in the community. So I can tell you that it's really weird to see your face posted all around the studio, but it was super fun and I thought it was a really cool anecdote. Then we had another workshop called Assassin's Creed as a brand, during which we met Etienne Alonier, the brand director. Basically, they showed us some really cool retrospective videos showing the evolution of the franchise. They also talked about the upcoming mobile game AC Rebellion, but mostly this workshop and all of the workshops were an opportunity for us, the fans, to talk and exchange ideas with Ubisoft employees. I probably should have said that earlier, but we were kind of representing the community in Montreal. Like, we gave Ubisoft our feedback on the series. Obviously we talked about the modern day, explained how important it was for us, but we also talked about the gameplay elements that we thought didn't work well and needed to be changed or reworked. So having those sort of discussions and being listened directly by Ubisoft was really a really cool opportunity. At the end of the workshop, Andy came to me to take me upstairs to the AC floor and to make me finally play the new AC game. But to be honest, I kind of knew what to expect, because during one of the workshops, the devs actually mentioned the name Empire, so, you know, knowing about the leaks, I knew what to expect. So we arrived at the AC floor and I was really excited. I saw like huge concept art posters of Empire/Origins, and on those posters you could see the main protagonist in desert environments. But there were also posters of the famous historical figures who will be in Origins. As a fan, being there in the middle of all those devs is just indescribable. I mean, the game is literally made in front of you, and it's a very special atmosphere. And at some point Andy said, I'll introduce you to Jean. So I met Jean Guédon, the creative director on Origins, who was also creative director on Black Flag, and you know, he's working on the franchise since the very beginning. So I was really happy to meet him, not only because I'm a huge fan of Black Flag, but also because I had watched a lot of his interviews, masterclass, and he's just a super interesting guy. So I met him, we talked a little bit, he was super nice, and Andy wanted to make me play the game at his desk, but Jean said, no, let him play here. So they put me on this couch and gave me a controller, and before I even start playing the game, Andy whispered to me, you're actually sitting on the couch where Jean and the core team play the game. No pressure, right? Then I played the demo of the game for maybe 20 to 30 minutes. Basically, Andy showed me the world, explained to me the new features. I did some really cool things, such as climbing at the top of a pyramid, doing some arena combat. After playing the demo, I spoke again with Jean, gave him some of my feedback, and then we head back to the meeting room where the other community members were having a workshop about post-launch. So basically we talked about DLCs, microtransactions, and all these kind of things, and again we gave our feedback on this particular subject. We wrapped up the day with another workshop about the Mentors Guild, but again I can't talk about that yet. So that evening we went to a restaurant with a bunch of Ubisoft employees, and that's where I got to meet Amar Zaizia, the head of content, and with him we talked about the AC movie, the lore in general, and he gave us some really cool anecdotes about Michael Fassbender and the production of the AC movie. Then we were joined by Tristan Dilala, who plays Adewale in Black Flag, and he was super nice and we talked a lot, so that was really cool. And basically that's how we finished the day. Moving on to the third day, we had the chance to visit the Ubisoft mocap studio while they were still shooting for Origins. So we witnessed shooting of a cutscene which probably was for a secondary quest, and the thing is they shot like tons of takes for this specific scene, so it's really crazy the amount of takes they are shooting, and I can tell you that it must be really hard for the actors because you know they have to wear those special mocap suits with all the dots and wear those heavy helmets. And one of the cool things that I realized is that when they are shooting a scene, you can actually see on a big screen where the characters are on the map of the game, so I thought that was pretty cool. We then had the chance to meet Abubakar Salim, who plays Bayek in Origins. He was super nice and he's actually a fan of the series. In the afternoon we went back to the Ubisoft studio, and while we were just taking a break, I saw in the distance Darby McDavid, lead writer on Revelations and Black Flag. And he was among those devs that I really wanted to meet because, as I said earlier, I'm a huge fan of Black Flag, and also I'm really passionate about writing in general. So I really wanted to meet the writer of one of my favorite games, but I didn't want to bother him. And actually, when I said that I really wanted to meet Darby, Tristan, aka Adewale, was with us and he heard me. And I'm saying that for a specific reason, but you'll understand why later. Then we did a trivia on Assassin's Creed, so we were split into 5 teams made of 2 community members and 2 devs, and basically we were just answering questions about the AC universe and the lore, and unsurprisingly the admin of the AC wiki won. Well, that was really fun, and for the record we were in this famous room where all the Ubisoft games are displayed on the wall, and after that we were just hanging out with the devs, eating pizza, drinking beers, which is absolutely crazy. And at some point I felt a hand on my shoulder, and it was actually Tristan who was like, "Hey, come here," and he introduced me to Darby McDavid. So yeah, Tristan heard me say that I wanted to meet Darby, and he made sure that it happened. So Tristan, I love you, man. So I finally met Darby. We talked a lot about AC4, Revelations, and also a bit about Origins, and we even talked about my montages because Darby actually watched my tributes to Edwards and the Kenway family, and you know, we were just talking while eating pizza, so it felt really unreal, but it was awesome. I also got to meet Ashraf Ismail, and we've only talked for a few minutes, but Ash is just amazing, and seeing his passion for AC makes me want to pre-order every single edition of AC Origins. So that evening we went to another restaurant, and I got to meet Gabe Graziani, aka Ubi Gabe, who worked on AC for years, and again I was just super happy to finally meet him. And finally, for our last day, we, the community members, spent some time together visiting Montreal, eating poutine and just having fun. So I guess that's it. You now know pretty much everything about my trip. It was an incredible week. Every day was about AC, you know, like every morning during breakfast we were just talking about AC, every evening, so it was a very special and unique experience, and it was really hard not to fanboy. I'm so glad that I got to meet all those cool people from the community and from Ubisoft, and yeah, I wanted to say a big thanks to Ubisoft for the invitation, and in particular the comdevs Sen, Lorlin and Stephanie, and of course a big thanks to you guys for your support. I mean, if it weren't for you, we wouldn't have so many amazing opportunities, so thank you so much. I really hope you enjoyed the video, and see you soon!